Time management. I've had to learn this year to learn to really. I talked about the years ago. I had my first six-figure year, and I really started to value my time. And then somewhere along the line, I started to, sell my time again to the lowest bidder and start just taking on all kind of conversations and dealing with all type of people. And then the shift happened. Last year I started getting up at 3:30 in the morning and I started to tackle, work earlier and I started to really focus. So starting like last year and then this year, it was like from the time of me getting off work, I've really only have like a 3 or 4 hour window to take phone calls, to talk to individuals, to, make any important calls that I need to make and to go run any errands, do any other business transactions. I have this small window of time. And so I found myself, sometimes when going over that limit, or whether it's trying to get in the back office. That's why you see some of these videos that I do online. They don't make it right away to social media because sometimes I need to wait a few more days. And sometimes I'll be like, no, that video was fire. I need to get that out tomorrow. And so I will stay up longer knowing that I need to, get up at 3:30 in the morning and know I need to be asleep by like, 8:30, sometimes 8 o'clock, 8:30 to try to get me 7 hours in. I get to sleep at 9:30, 10 because I want to stay up and edit a video. I want to post something on Facebook, post up on YouTube, post up on Instagram. And just for those of you that create content, it's time that goes into that. Editing videos, going to CapCut or Sony Vegas Pro or whatever tools you're using. And now that chips into your rest time. So now instead of me going to bed at 8, I'm going to bed at 10:30 because I got this message I want to get out there. And now from 10:30 to 3:30, now I'm only got 4 hours and 45 minutes, 5 hours of rest. And now I get up the next morning, I'm irritated, I'm frustrated, I'm grumpy, I'm all this type of things and going into my work day. And so I've had to learn that I really have to focus on managing my time a whole lot better. We talk about being good stewards over our resources on the financial tip, but how many of us are good stewards over our time? See, we can get the money back. A lot of us have squandered thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. All right. And we can get that back, but you can never get your time back. So we have to. It's a couple people on here today that I believe that talked about time. Or Sister Rebecca talked about time. Jerome, brother Jerome talked about time. I'm talking about time management. It is very key that we manage our time. If you be among the indiscreet, observe the time, but continually be around men and women of understanding. They're individuals that do not have goals. They're individuals do not have aspirations. They do not have a plan for their life. And so guess what? They don't mind sucking your 30 or 45 minutes up from you. They don't mind being on the phone gossiping and talking to you about what's going on in the nation and talking about this person behind their back. They don't have a problem doing that because they're not going anywhere. They say misery loves company. So when you surround yourself around individuals who value their time, individuals, when you call them on the phone, they let you know up front, hey, listen, I have a meeting I'm on my way into right now. I don't have a lot of time, but I answered the phone because it was you. Is it something that you need to tell me or talk to me about? Those type of individuals that they look at their phone and they see that it's you and they answer, but they letting you know, hey, listen, I don't have a lot of time to talk. We need to be like that to our so-called our brothers and sisters, our so-called ox and our coach. Guess what? It's times where you gotta be like, hey, listen, I'm when I pick up this phone, I'm letting you know up front. I answered it because it was you. I got like 10 or 15 minutes before I had to hop on this call, before I have to hop on this meeting. Or of course, you have to be telling the truth though. You can't be lying about those things. But or you just say, hey, listen, I got to be somewhere. I got to do something in 10 or 15 minutes. It's letting the person know up front. I do not have a whole lot of time to be talking on this phone. And it tells us also in the wisdom part about that, Proverbs 10 and 19, in the multitude of words, there lacketh not sin, but he that refrains his lips is wise. Another way for some of us to control our tongue is to talk less, is to manage our time with talking to individuals on the phone or even meeting them in person. So time management is key. Another thing that I had to look at this year is to be extremely clear on what I want. This year right here was my best financial year in the last maybe 7 or 8 years, maybe 8 years. This is the best year I've had in 8 years. From a financial standpoint, I want to give thanks and praise to the Most High. And but even with this being the best year I've had in almost a decade, this year I still was not 100% clear on what I want. And I want you all that's listening to the sound of my voice as you're going into this, because it is a new start that's happening tomorrow. Even though it's not our new year, it's a new year in the side of this world and in business. What do you want? Where do you want to be at this time next year? Be specific, clear on your goals. We talk about SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, action oriented. All right. The R, result time oriented. All right. That R might be a little something else. I'm going off the top of my head. All right. But you have to have SMART goals. Realistic. That R is realistic. All right. I know we want to set goals for $1 million, but if you haven't made $100,000 yet, it'd probably be smart to make that as your goal before you make 1 million. I know they say shoot for the moon and you can land up in the stars somewhere. I understand that, but if you don't set your goals the right type of way, it can frustrate you. So time management, being clear on exactly what you want and tracking everything. Listen here, I told you that this was the best financial year I've had in 8 years. But guess what? I did not track everything. All my business expenses were not tracked. I have to do some guessing when the tax time come back around. I'm clear on. I got a very good understanding on how much rent that I paid and how much booth rent I paid, and I'm clear on that. I can understand that. But it's gas expenses and receipts and food and my travel on the road. Some of that stuff I have on my bank statements. Probably about 80% of it, 90% of it is on my bank statement. So I'm good in that. But it's about, what about the other 10% that's lost in the sauce that I paid cash with? When we go to Ecclesiastes 42 and verse 7, it tells us to deliver all things in number and weight, and write down everything that thou givest out and what thou takest in. So track everything. Track everything. You want to be the person that pull your shoebox open and you have all your receipts. All right. I can say 80, 90%. That's good. All right. But what about that 10% that's lost in the sauce? This is better than some of my days in the past. Days in the past, I probably had 30 to 40% of my receipts. I mean, I was sloppy with business because I was all over the place, running the business, making the phone calls, flipping the car titles, going to the auctions, meeting with the customers. I was the one-man show. I had my wife helping me to transport vehicles, but I was doing everything. So guess what? Some things they went undone. Like when I'm paying for my gas and I swipe at the pump, or I go inside and swipe at the pump and they give me the receipt, I'm on my way to selling the car. I'm on my way. I'm moving fast. So I just put the receipt in my back pocket, and but at the end of the day, I don't even know where that receipt is at, because now I got money, I got dollar bills that's intermingling in with the receipts. That was the old version of me. Now I am working on myself. I'm working to become better. But these are the 3 wisdom nuggets I'll drop with you. Be very, very deliberate about your time. Your time is your most valuable asset. One of them, anyway. Be extremely clear about what you want. Be extremely clear. All right. The Most High is very specific. If a person says they want a job, then McDonald's is hiring. McDonald's will hire you tomorrow. What kind of job? What do you want? What type of spouse do you want? What type of business you want to run? Be very specific and track everything. That's my wisdom nuggets for the day.